Welcome back. So in the last lecture, we covered the different types of errors. But however, I wanted to show you one thing which I know wouldn't be a part of that and it couldn't be there. So that was the indentation error. So what that is that if, for example, I try to say if 5 is greater than 3, you're seeing the space that occurs. So this space is basically called as an indentation. So an indentation separates a block of code in Python. Alright, so when I write print and in here, hello, and Control Shift F10, as you can see, we have hello that's getting printed. But if I remove these spaces and I run this, it's giving me the indentation error. So it needs to have an indentation. So if I give one space bar here and I print it, that will also work. So the number of spaces you give is completely up to the programmer. However, within a certain block of code, like in this if condition, everything I write after this is basically one single block. So in this, I have to write the next one also over here itself. Alright, so here I can't have split words, so split spaces. So as you can see here it's printing hello world, but the minute I add another space over here and I try to print this, I'm getting an indentation error. Alright, so that was indentation error, and now without further ado, let's head into variables. So variables are basically a container for storing data value. Alright, so Python has no particular command or anything for declaring a variable. It's simply assigned the moment you assign a value to it. So when I say x is equal to 5, that's it. A variable x has been declared. Similarly, if I say y is equal to John, that's it. A variable is done. Alright, and if I print this, alright, Control Shift F10, there you can see 5 and John. Alright, so this is how you can create variables. Alright, so you don't need to declare a certain type of a variable also. So if you noticed here, John is basically a string type of variable, whereas type, and it automatically took it in. Okay, so now looking at the next part, if you give x is equal to 5 and then you say x is equal to John, and if I try to print x, Control Shift F10, you see John is now the value of x. So whatever is the last declared value of x, that value gets stored as the value that it carries. Okay, so now x is equal to 5, F10, you can see 5 is getting printed. When I write x is equal to John and I print this, it shows me John. Okay, so it changes its type also. So this was an integer type of a variable and then it became a string type variable, but it didn't really have a problem with that. Okay, then comes casting, which is something that you can do where you check the data type. Okay, or basically you're casting the data type. So in this scenario, when x is equal to 5, let's also write y is equal to 5, z is equal to 5. Now here I want to convert x to a string. So when I want to convert x to a string, I'll write str and I'll put 5 in a bracket. Similarly, if I want to convert this to an integer, I'll just do this, and if I want to convert it to a float, I'll do this. Now if you print x, print y and print z, there you go. So in this case, this 5 is basically a string, this 5 is basically your integer, and this 5 is basically your float. Alright, so if you want to see the type and you don't trust me, then we can check the type for it. So again, we'll use the print type function, and in that we'll have x, and let me copy this and change this to y and this to z. There you go. As you can see, it's showing you that the first one, which is x, is string, y is an integer type of class, and z is a float type of class. Alright, so we saw how to declare a string by just giving a variable and using double inverted commas and writing what you need. Similarly, you can also declare a string by just giving a single inverted comma or basically a single quote and writing what you need inside it. So John again, and if we try to print this, there you go. John comes in both. So basically both of them are strings. Another important thing about variables is that if I write x is equal to 4 and here I write capital X is equal to 6. This value of x, which is 4, does not change to 6 because these are two separate variables. Let me change them to a in fact, because x almost looks the same. Right? So there we go. So if I try to print a, as you can see it's 4, and if I try to print capital A, it's 6. Alright, so basically what I want to highlight over here is that variables are basically case sensitive. Alright, then comes variable names. So when I say variable names, this letter A is basically the name of a variable. Alright, so you can assign whatever you want, right? There are certain rules that needs to be maintained. So a variable can have a short name, alright, so like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever you need, or a more descriptive name like age, car name, or total volume. These are certain variables that you can declare, okay? But there are certain rules in this as well. So a variable must start with a letter or the underscore. So you can use an underscore and then start the name of variable, alright? You can do this, or you can also start with a letter as we saw. But one thing to keep in mind is that a variable cannot start with a number, okay? So you can have it being a 1 2 6 7 8 whatever you need, a f g g f f equals to 5, and you try to print a 1 2 whatever it is, you'll get the value as 5. But you can't do this in the other way. So you can't say 2af whatever equals to 5. So you're seeing it's already giving you this over here, right? But if you even try to print it, see what's gonna happen. It's giving you a syntax error. Syntax error, why? Because you cannot start the name of variable with a number, okay? Has to be like this only. So another thing is it can only contain alphanumeric characters. So alphanumeric being letters from A to Z and numbers from 0 to 9, or it can contain underscore. So these are the only three things it can contain, okay? So a variable can contain letters, numbers, and lastly your underscores. That's it. You cannot use anything else. No dollar signs, no rupee sign, nothing. And the next thing to remember is that variables are also case sensitive, which we saw when we saw that small a versus capital A have different values, okay? So that's how you work with variable names. Another thing is assigning multiple values. So if you want to assign multiple variables with multiple different values, you can do that as well. So if I wanted to write 3 variables, A, B, C, or let's write like this, A is equal to apple, B is equal to ball, C is equal to, I'm back in kindergarten, cat. And now if I try to print these for A, print this for B, and I'll print the same thing for C. Let's just remove all of these and print. You're seeing apple, ball, and cat. Alright. So this was a little too messy because there were too many variables to declare, but at the same time I declared them in 3 separate lines, right? But you can also do this. You can just have the name of your variable like x, y, z like this, right, equals to, and write what they stand for. So if x is bananas, and then you write a comma here, declare the next part, which is, let's say, cherry, and the last part, which is oranges. So when I've given it this way and I try to print this, and P tab Z, Alright, so if I try to print this, there you go. You have bananas, cherries and oranges. Let me just comment this entire part out. Okay, so now when we try and print this, as you can see, it's bananas, cherry and oranges. So automatically the value of x got set as banana, y got set as cherry and z got set as oranges. Okay, so that's how you assign multiple values to variables. Similarly, you can also assign multiple variables to one value. So if x, y and z, all of them were oranges, so you can write x is equal to y is equal to z, which equals to oranges. Okay, and now when you try to print x, y, z, there you go. All of them give you the value of x, y and z as oranges. Okay, so I hope you've understood this. This was almost everything in regards to variables and what names you give for them and the different rules that need to be followed while you assign variables and give it a name. Alright, so we'll see you in the next lecture, and in the next lecture we're basically going to be covering strings and the basics of all the strings. Okay, so I'll see you there. Thank you.